All right, rock and roll, everybody. It is NFC Championship Sunday. It's Championship Sunday here, ladies and gentlemen. And we are ready to rock and roll. We're going to preview this game. Normally I do a video for it, but I thought this time I'd mix it up a little bit and get us going with a live stream. We'll talk about the game. We'll get ourselves all prepped up for it. And, don't know about you guys, but I could not be more excited for this one. Hoo-wee! All right, let's get it. All right, let's go. So, and of course, this preview is always going to be available on the channel after we finish up. So, look, of course, when it comes to this game, Philadelphia, San Francisco, the two teams in the NFC that I think that everyone thought was going to be here. I think we all believed it was going to be 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles in this championship game. Seemed like these two teams were on somewhat of a collision course for quite some time, actually. Looking at the game here, the last I had seen of it, No Religion, what is up? Let's go. We got Christian in here. Great to have you guys. We're gonna get into a little preview of this game. We're gonna talk about some of the big factors in this NFC Championship game. Wow. Still blows my mind sometimes a little bit that not that we made the NFC Championship game. I knew that we had a fantastic team, but even just looking back at the season earlier in the season when we were 3-4, we lost to Kansas City and things looked bad, but we figured it out. Robert is here. What is up? Let's go. Ashton's here. What is up? What shirt do you have on, Ashton? Maybe a little Kittle shirt? Maybe we'll have a little Kittle. Spy Nick Danger. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Alrighty, so when I started taking the notes for this game, the line was Philadelphia by 3, which is pretty expected just because you kind of think about it where typically the home teams will get about 3 points with Vegas. So essentially Vegas is saying that these teams are like neck and neck and they're basically just as good as one another. And I think that's about accurate. Of course, Philadelphia have a bunch of great star players, but so did the San Francisco 49ers. We have a lot of fantastic players. There we go. Hey, the Kittle jersey. It's a good look. Game day, baby. Let's go, says Bobby. Lily is in here. Couldn't wait to hop. Let's go. So we're going to be on here until about maybe like 11:40 or 11:45. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the actual play-by-play stream. And the Patrick Willis red jersey, says Damian Lee. I mean, that's always a classic. He's a finalist for the Hall of Fame. And Nick, it's basically a coin toss. The last I'd seen the over-under for this game was 46 points, and that to me seems about accurate too. You have two teams with a lot of with really good defenses, but also there's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Look, there's no easy NFC Championship game. Like every time you're going up against the best of the best, so it's never going to be easy. And I think these are the two teams that should have been there. Love the jerseys. Oh, thank you very much. Let's go, CarCast. This is going to be a tough game. I believe number one defense is the key. Rocking the McCaffrey jersey, says Bobby Palmer. Love it. The McCaffrey jersey. Excellent. We have 14 people in here, guys. Remember just to drop a quick like on the stream. Getting nervous, just want the game to start, says Robert. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Robert. Let's talk a little bit about the last time that these two teams met. And look, let me preface this by saying that we know that these two teams are very different, but it was week 2 of the 2021 season in Philadelphia. Week 2, Niners win 17-11. What were some of the things that really stood out to me? Well, when I look at it, time of possession was a huge thing that the 49ers were able to control. 35 minutes to 25 minutes. That's going to be another huge key, and we're going to talk about their one loss this season with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. So there's going to be a lot of similarities. The other big thing, too, is in the red zone. The Niners had a lot more success in the red zone compared to the Philadelphia Eagles, which is always a huge thing when you have two teams so closely matched together. red zone. The other thing, too, that the Niners were able to do better on in that last game was penalties. Being more disciplined, not having those big penalties that extends drives or stalls drives for your own team. And then third and fourth down conversions as well. The 49ers were able to outperform Philadelphia. But if we go to a game, and I think, there's so much difference in these teams now. I mean, of course, Philadelphia have added a bunch of great players. You look at, adding A.J. Brown. They drafted a bunch of guys. C.J. Gardner-Johnson they acquired. They have a lot more players. But so do the 49ers. Big thing looking at... So the Eagles have only lost one game this year with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. And that was, I think it was Sunday night or Monday Night Football, Week 10 against the Washington Commanders. 32-21. Really, that score is a little bit generous to Washington because in the last play of the game, it was 26-21. And then Philadelphia does their crazy, like they're trying laterals and stuff, and it just ends up becoming a fumble touchdown. But before we get into a little bit more of the Week 10, looking at that game, which Jalen Hurts did lose, let's get into the chat and see who else is here. Carcast, the offense, Fred Warner, and the entire defense is showing out. I saw that Deebo Samuel wearing that Kelly Green kind of. Love it. Love to see it. Matthew says, how is the weather in Philadelphia? And that's actually a great question. I believe it's dry. Let's see. Weather. Right now it's 51 degrees and slight chance of rain, but 51 degrees. So, I mean, kind of coldish, but not actually that much colder than San Francisco. So, all right. If anyone else can tell me how the audio sounds, because it sounds like Robert, I'm cutting in and out a little bit. If anyone else can let me know about the audio, just give me a shout, and we will try and get that sorted out. Football time, let's go. The weather in Philadelphia is 51 degrees. James has on his Deebo jersey, going to be about the run. Yeah, and I think this needs to be a Deebo. I think this is one of those Deebo games. Thanks, sounds good. Okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure, Robert. Maybe there's something with the... If anyone else has any issues with... Oh, my fan fell over. But if anyone else has any issues with the sound, just let me know. Oh, it's sounding like robotic? Interesting. Alrighty. Can you guys hear me now? Let me know. If you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? I know there's always a bit of a delay, so when I'm asking this, it's going to be a few seconds before you hear me, but let me know if you can hear me. It's okay, but it normally sounds better. Still having issues? Are we still having issues? Next jersey I want to buy is Warner or sounds worse. Oh. Very echo now. Oh. Interesting. I had that. Okay. Bear with me. Gone rockabilly? That's hilarious. All right, how are we doing? How's it sounding? I'm guessing this is you, Nick. Ooh, that does sound. Turn off reverb. I don't have reverb on. Is it better now? It's better now. It's good now. Cool. We good? We good? Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. I think that actually I can see the cable that I have for the microphone is it's like it's not like ripped or anything, but it's like a little bit, has a little bit of wear. But cool, we're good. So I'm gonna try and not touch this and mess with this at all. I'll try that. Cool. So getting back to thank you so much for and I honestly appreciate you letting me know now about. No, that's totally fine. I'd rather you tell me now that the sound is not great as opposed to, we're halfway through the game or whatever. Then it's like, oh, now we got to try and fix it. Cool. But so one of the things that I looked at was Week 10. Yeah, Washington, and the game was at Philadelphia, where Washington beat Philadelphia. The game didn't start out well for Washington. One of the first plays, it was a sack fumble or maybe a return for a touchdown. But the key thing that I look at, what was Washington able to do in that game? Time of possession. They had the ball for 40 minutes in that game. And here's a big thing too. Washington ran the ball a lot in that game. They didn't have a huge amount of success. They weren't breaking off 20, 30-yard runs, but they did just enough to control the clock. The other thing too, they won again. They won penalties. They ultimately did win turnovers. And the huge factor for me in that win by Washington over Philadelphia was Jalen Hurts, only 6 rushes for 28 yards. He did have a touchdown, but 6 rushes for 28 yards, that's good. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat. Sounds good. Has left the building. Excellent. Cool. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Sweet. Well, yeah, I'm glad that it's sounding good. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button at around 11:40-ish. We're going to be switching over to the play-by-play stream, so just a heads up there. To me, so it kind of comes back to, and thank you guys. Yeah, sweet. Calvin's here. What's up, Shifty? Getting ready. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go. So the big thing I think the Niners, of course, have to do, and this is something that we always try and do in every single game, but it comes down to the time of possession. Can we get those? And I think to me, one of the keys with that is get the positive yards on first down. Philadelphia, they've had by far the most sacks in the NFL this season. So how do we stop that? How do we limit their pass rush? And that's getting positive yards on first down. It's one of those things too where you look at it, it's I think what I would like to see the Niners do is I think that a lot of the run plays on first down should be just north-south. I mean, I do love the stretch plays, and sometimes, we break them for a big one like we saw Christian McCaffrey do in the wild card game against Seattle, and that's great. But I think especially early on in the game, try and get 2-3 yards on first down. So it's 2nd and 7, as opposed to maybe you try the outside runs, but maybe you lose 3 yards and all of a sudden you're backed up 2nd and 13, and then the Philadelphia pass rush can feast. So any important or potential injuries to take into account? Well, the big thing too, and that I think it's been mentioned a couple of times so far, is yes, Elijah Mitchell is out. Elijah Mitchell will not be in today, which is a huge bummer because Elijah Mitchell is someone who he has solid speed. He runs with power, runs with authority, and he's obviously someone who's really trusted by Kyle Shanahan. I think the big thing after that, though, you look at it, is the fact that at least we have a guy like Tevin Coleman. And Tevin Coleman, he's played in the biggest games that there are. He's played in the Super Bowl. He knows Shanahan's offense inside out. Plus, we also have a guy like Jordan Mason that we can lean on, too. Someone where, yes, it's going to be, as the game goes on, I'm assuming it's going to be a damn close game. He can churn out those really tough yards. When we get into the third, fourth quarter, he's the guy where defenses are maybe getting a little tired, where he can just do his thing and get his way and get those tough yards. So it's a bummer that Mitchell is out, and it sounded like he didn't practice at all this week. So, yeah, a little bit frustrating that he won't be out here to play. But, at the end of the day, it's we got to just keep rolling. And that's just, it's one of the next man up mentality. But yeah, so Elijah Mitchell not playing today. Also, Drake Jackson not playing today. And I thought that was a little bit interesting. I thought Drake Jackson would have been out there. I thought because of his athletic ability, we saw him in preseason be able to run down, mobile quarterbacks. I was hoping to see Drake Jackson today, but clearly we are not because he is inactive. Tevin sucks. He better not get one touch. I mean, he really doesn't suck, man. The one game he really played this season was against Carolina. I think he had like 2 touchdowns or something, didn't he? But I like how in the YouTube chat they've actually changed it so different people have like different colors on the name. That's pretty cool. But I think, to me, I'm bummed that Mitchell is out, but I think that we have solid options. Plus, we're going to get a very, very heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey. And this is one of the reasons maybe why, this is a reason, not the reason, but, why we acquired Christian McCaffrey is that, Elijah Mitchell's definitely missed some time, and we're so lucky to have made that trade, and Christian's been awesome for us. I hope it pisses him off and just balls the F out. Yeah, well, it sounds like they got it covered. Coleman had that amazing... Yeah, Coleman, against... I'm trying to bring that up as well, because Coleman did have a really... Against Carolina, we won 37-15, so if we look at the box score from that one, Tevin Coleman... 8 rushes for 23 yards. That's nothing super fantastic. He did have a touchdown, but also 3 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown. So 2 touchdowns, about 70 yards. I'm watching the NBC pregame, the Niner one, and Jerry Rice is on TV, and he's just making there he goes. Go Jerry Rice. There we go, the GOAT. 43 people in here. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. Hit the like button, and then in about 25-ish minutes we'll be switching over to the play-by-play stream. But here we go. No, he's awesome. That's why he's 5th string. He's actually, I would say he's probably 4th string, but I think that he's solid. I think that Tevin Coleman, I don't think he's a bad running back. I don't think he sucks. But anyways, that's your opinion, man. So I'm worried about the Eagles' pass rush. If the Niners can establish the run early, we'll be good. Raymond, I think you're 100% right, man. And that's a big thing. First down, get those positive yards. You can limit what Philadelphia can do with their pass rush and really just go from there, And I think you are going to see a lot of just up the middle runs. You're going to see some pretty heavy formations. You're going to see, I think, Charlie Werner out there quite a bit, along with, of course, Kittle and Juszczyk, and they are going to do what they can. We're waiting. Yo, man, I can't wait. Can't wait. Football Time's making some predictions here with yardage. Ooh, okay. I like it. Let me see. Christian, I think Rice was at every... Yeah, Rice has been so prominent. I love it. And he's got that super rad chain with, like, the helmet. And it's like, damn, I don't even want to know how much that shit cost. But I'm sure it was pretty expensive. I think we're going to see a lot of Jordan Mason too. Of course, we're going to see Jordan Mason. We're going to see Deebo Samuel in the backfield too. So when I think about it sucks that Mitchell is out. I would of course prefer to have him out there, but I think that what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of McCaffrey. You're going to see a little bit of Coleman. You're going to see some Mason, and then of course you're going to see Deebo back there. So. But I think we just got to get that north-south running going. On first down. Now, if it's like 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, then I'm okay with try and get him on the edges too. Don't completely shy away from that. But on first down, you want to at least try and get some positive yards going. Just make life a little bit easier on Brock Purdy. So, and to me, when it comes to time of possession, the other note that I wrote here, and this is just like an opinion thing, but I think it's kind of stating the obvious too, is this just needs to be a vintage Deebo game. I think Deebo, he needs to have one of his games where it's like, man, Deebo Samuel is one of the best offensive weapons in football, and I think he needs to remind people that. I think he's ready for it too. Football Time says, I'm afraid the Eagles are probably going to break through the offensive line pretty fast. We'll see. Yeah, and then that's where you do have to be ready then to adjust, and we were able to make some adjustments, and I think we actually got some pretty good experience against the Dallas Cowboys last week, where eventually we were able to get things going. When you look at the Eagle pass rush, yeah, they were number 1 in sacks, but they were, in terms of the percentage of plays where they got pressure, Philadelphia was number 2. Number 1 was Dallas. So, we did definitely get experience, and just, 7 days ago, playing against a team that can rush the passer really effectively, and I think they'll build off of that. So Rice deserves yeah, he does. He's awesome. We need to play sound defense, start off attacking their edges maybe. And again, I'm a little bit surprised that we don't have Drake Jackson active, just because he's really athletic, and we've seen him be able to chase down mobile quarterbacks. So, but we have Alex Shaw subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, Alec. I greatly appreciate that, man. Thank you for subscribing to Shifty's 49ers Talk. And then go Eagles, LMAO. I mean, yeah, your Eagles are a great team. So we'll see what happens. Susan says you're excited. I'm excited too. I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited. Lori and Martinez, are we ready? Let's go. I'm super pumped up. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Once we get to game time, once the game kicks off, it's going to get real crazy up in here. We know that. Exactly, Shifty. Neutralize that pass rush with CMC break. Yeah, whether it's CMC, and there's a lot of different ways you can neutralize a pass rush. To me, what I think teams have been doing is, because the Niners would have so much success, how many times do we remember, snap, let's say a lot of times it was Garoppolo, a little bit of Trey, a little bit of Brock, but snap, quick throw to Debo, right? But now what defenses are doing is that they are just completely crowding the line of scrimmage. And not only that, the cornerbacks are playing right up against our receivers. So even if you do that quick pass, there's a guy right there to at least slow him down. So I think that it's not going to be, you might see some play action rollouts. You might see run, play action rollout, and just try and buy Purdy some time, use his athleticism a little bit, and take some shots down the field. So at least you back up the DBs, so, and the linebackers too. But I agree with you, Christian, too. The Cowboys game was probably the best thing that could happen to the team as far as what to expect. Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys have a fierce pass rush. Yeah, and I'd mentioned a little bit ago that in terms of the percentage of plays that they got pressure on, the Cowboys were number 1, Eagles number 2. Matthew Strickland, let's go, man, let's go, Matthew, let's go. And we got Matthew Fines, of course. Yeah, he's super evenly matched. Yeah, this is going to be, what's my beverage? Nothing, it's too early for anything with alcohol, so I have a little coffee, I have my water, and then I have an energy drink, which I will be opening right around kickoff. Well, and I think that the Eagles fans, of course, have a right to be very confident. They have a great team, and they've been playing really well. I mean, look what they did to the Giants. That was just pure domination. But I think a lot of people have been kind of overlooking the 49ers, too. So, Debo was rated only a 90 overall in Madden. I mean, yeah, for Madden, I haven't played Madden in years. I mean, I used to love the game, but it hasn't been great for a long time. But hey, I mean, at least he's a 90. Could be worse. So how do you limit? The other big question is, how do the 49ers try and limit? And this is the big point that I wanted to talk about. Was how do you limit Jalen Hurts rushing? And that could arguably be the $1 million question. During the season, he averaged about 11 rushes per game. That's a lot. That's significant. When people were looking at Kyle Shanahan's running Trey Lance a lot. I mean, 11 rushes a game is significant for a quarterback. So, of course, the number one way that you can reduce the opportunities is through that time of possession where you need to be efficient on third down. I believe I was watching a couple of different preview shows over the last day or two, and I believe the Eagles' number 3 cornerback has kind of struggled, or they've struggled against number 3 wide receivers. So Jawan Jennings, big game for Jawan here. We know we love his toughness, but he's going to be big in terms of picking up those key third downs. The other thing too is, and this is the point that I want to, it's a big point, but let me just get to some more comments before we get into that. Heading out to watch the game, so I'll miss your chat. Ron, hey, all good, Ron. Next time, hey, feel free to drop in the stream if you want during the game. It's going to be wild. Yes, Lori. Oh yeah, you're I'm so it's 11:25 a.m. I'd feel a little bit like a degenerate, I think, if I was like getting kind of drunk right now. A little early for that, but hey, you never know. Let me see. This should be a great year. Yeah, there we go. I said after the Cowboys game, says Christian, this is the most evenly matched Final Four I can ever remember. I think so. I really do. Of course, the big question with Kansas City is the fact that how is Mahomes going to look? And then Travis Kelce has been kind of going through some issues too. So those are two big things to look at as well in that matchup. But let's go. Hurts is the X factor, of course. Yeah, let's go Mark Pfeiffer. We got Mark Pfeiffer in here. Niners defense just has to step up and stop Jalen. I think they will do it. We got 1-1-1-1. True. Niners Bengals Super Bowl. Hey, that'd be a throwback to those. That would be a throwback to those. There's two Super Bowls in the 80s that the Niners won both of them. Want to see some Dre Greenlaw spy as well. And yeah, let's get to the point where limiting Jalen Hurts. And I think one of the key players, believe it or not, in this might be Mooney Ward. The reason why I say Mooney Ward is that I think what the Niners could potentially do is basically say kind of what the Niners did against DK Metcalf is be like, Mooney, this is the reason why we brought him in and we gave him like big money is the fact that it's Mooney. You are on A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is your guy all game long. Then you have Lenore and maybe a bit of like Tashawn Gibson or what have you in coverage, kind of looking over Devontae Smith. Philadelphia throws 56% of their passes. They target either Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. But I think this is where Mooney Ward, that's why we bring him in. We pay him number one cornerback money is to try and shut down A.J. Brown. And it kind of goes back to, well, if you can have Mooney one-on-one with A.J. Brown, and maybe you give Lenore a little bit of help, with like a Tashawn Gibson on Devontae Smith, I think Hufanga is going to be the guy who plays around the line of scrimmage a lot today. Hufanga, we've seen him. He can rush the passer pretty darn well. He can cover tight ends. He's had his struggles this year, but I think we'll see him a little bit on Goddard. You'll see Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Al Shire on Goddard too, but I think you're going to see Hufanga around the line of scrimmage quite a bit today, and I think he's a key guy. But of course, it also has to mean that Mooney will have to hold up in coverage against a guy like A.J. Brown, and I think Mooney matches up pretty darn well with him. But I think Hufanga's going to be around there. He's going to be the guy chasing down Jalen Hurts, trying to force fumbles, because that's the other big thing too. When you reduce just basically the amount of opportunities for them to be on offense, picking up key third downs, we know that. But forcing those turnovers, but I think you're going to see Hufanga around the line of scrimmage, basically just keeping an eye on wherever Hurts goes, Hufanga goes. All right, let's get back to some of the comments. Let me see. Football Time says 49ers need to watch the deep ball to AJ. Yeah, I mean, we saw last season when he was with the Titans, AJ Brown was able to have some big plays against us. So, but that last year it was like our starting cornerbacks in that game. I think it was Ambry Thomas and Josh Norman. So I'd like to say that we're a lot better this time around. Mooney's been getting lots of disrespect lately, and I think Mooney's been all right. He gave up the big play to DK Metcalf, but DK Metcalf does that to a lot of people, and every cornerback gets beat. So we have more offensive weapons, and clearly we're number one defense. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to be watching the play-by-play stream and also watching the live game. What I would recommend Football Time is to I'm watching on. I have like my TV here, so it's just on. It's on Fox. But what I'm going to be doing, I'd recommend if anyone does want to use my, let's say my commentary as like the audio kind of for the game, then I would probably recommend once the game starts to try and sync up my audio, because I'm always going to be behind. Blame it on YouTube when it comes to streaming, because that's just how it is. Go watch the highlights of last year's game. We handled the Eagles just fine. We can do it, Mark. I agree with you, man. I mean, I think there's plenty of different ways that we can win this game. We just can't beat ourselves. So I think,
Let's see. Matthew says, I think momentum will play a big part, but Niners can overcome the Eagles' home advantage. And that's another big thing where it's you got to get up, but you got to get on top quickly. The Niners, we know the Niners are a second half team. We typically play a lot better. On the road, that's where that could be trickier. We just need to keep it very close. Even if we're tied at halftime, if we win the toss, get the ball to start the second half, and then do our thing in the second half. I'm all about it. Shanahan needs to stop our guys from stupid penalties. I mean, there's only so much he can do to stop them. I mean, you can coach, you can be like, hey, in this situation, that situation, but at the end of the day, it's the players as well who have to know when to maybe play a little bit harder, we'll say. I think momentum will play a big part, but yeah, there we go. It's Bosa's day. Yeah, the left tackle for Philadelphia, he has struggled a little bit, so I'm not sure. I think that could be something that the Niners will definitely try and exploit. Big plays by Huff and Ray today. I hope so. Yeah, Ray needs to look. We saw what happened last week. He was able to immediately basically make up for it with a huge return. So hopefully Ray has a big game. Got to attack those scrubs at linebacker. Go Shanny go, says Tommy. I couldn't agree more, man. I could not agree more. Posts are going to put the hurt to Hurts. I love that, Raymond. That's awesome. This game is going to be a war. Got to get the running game going early. Yeah. And that's the thing. Man, this game is really tough. It's really freaking tough. So it's hard to call. I can't really get a feel for it. I haven't watched the Eagles. I mean, I've watched them some this year, but not as much as you would think, considering that they're like a really good team. Ender Dragon says, hey, I said, what do you think about Tom Grossi? I love Tom Grossi. I think Tom Grossi's great. I think he's rad for the community, and he's super entertaining. And he helped my channel out significantly when I first started doing this. So I have nothing but love for Tom Grossi. D'Amico needs to come up with his patented halftime adjustments today. No points for the Birds in the second half. That would be awesome to shut him down. That would be freaking awesome to shut him down. But not going to be easy. They have weapons all over the place. And let's not forget, too, a guy that we haven't really talked about is Miles Sanders. Good running back. He's versatile. He's really good in the passing game. He can catch a lot. Dallas Goedert's a weapon, too. And the Niners, I think, have done decently against tight ends. But I think that there's still a lot of different things that the Eagles can attack you in so many different ways. And to me, the biggest thing essentially has to be the 49ers just need to be on the field a lot more. Our offense needs to be on the field a lot more than theirs. Simple as that. By Fangio. Did Fangio just get hired by somebody? This game will be a CMC and Debo game. Yep. Grossi is great, but the Packers suck. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Packers by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I like some of their players, but yeah, I don't like the Packers by any means. They, just like that we've kind of owned the Packers a little bit recently in the playoffs, they used to own us. So there we go. They used to own us quite a bit. So I'm like, it is what it is. But, let me see. What else do we got going on here? Likely the toughest game for Niners so far, but I think that's a great motive. It is. And I think I think it's great that we had a tough game last week against and the Cowboys are a really good team. Like, I know you kind of go, it's the Dallas Cowboys and they haven't won in however long, and I guess neither have we, but I think that it's, it was good for this team to have to face that kind of like big time adversity against a really good opponent. Whereas Eagles, they played a Giants team that just seemed happy to be there. Then they had a bye week, and the week before that, they played a bunch of the backups for the Giants. Like, it's been almost a month or so since they played like a tough game. But what do you think about the Panthers hiring Frank Reich? Fangio's gone to the Dolphins, has he? I know the Dolphins were trying to get him, but I didn't realize he'd actually agreed to be their defensive coordinator. Let's put the women, children, and men go looking for effing dinner, says Randy. Love it, Randy. That's funny. Frank Reich being hired by the Panthers. I think Frank Reich is a decent coach. I think he did a decent job in Indianapolis. They just couldn't figure out the quarterback situation, but Carolina has to figure out their quarterback situation. But I think that Wilkes probably had done enough to deserve being given an opportunity. That's my opinion. Glad you're back. Let's go. Let's go. The legend of Brock Purdy is cemented on this day. It very well could be. It's one of the great stories in the NFL this year. So, but yo, Daniel Barry is here. Let's go. Let's go. Agree, Mark. Shut up, all the. Yep. Go Birds. May the best team win. Going to be a good one, says Mint Diggity. Welcome to the channel, Mint. And look, yep, I'm all good with fans of the other team coming on in. I'm okay with a little bit of trash talk. But look, as you said, I think may the best team win. And at the end of the day, that's how it's going to go. And that's just the beautiful thing about football is you have to give it your all for one game to get it. It's in the playoffs. It's one and done. So we'll see. We shall see. Hey, Shifty and Chad. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Line 297. Oh, it's been great. It's been great. Let's go. Let's go. Ray Lewis called out Trayvon Diggs for not knocking the ball out on that. It's I could see. It's just so hard in real time and things like that. I don't think you can really blame. You can't blame Trey. That's one thing that he does shy away from contact, Trayvon Diggs. But regardless, too, it's I don't think that I don't even know if there was a play to be made without drawing a flag or something. Bang, bang, Shifty gang. Let's go. California Live. Let's go. Man, I'd love it. 31-24. That'd be great. I'm just glad it's not snowing in Philadelphia like it is up here in Canada, says Matthew. That's another big thing as well. I think, both teams, these are the two best teams in the NFC. I don't think that there's any question about that. The two teams who've been playing the best and the two teams with, I would say, the most talent in the NFC are here, and that's so it's kind of meant to be in a way. I've heard all week the talking heads saying Purdy hasn't beaten any good quarterbacks yet. Maybe not like elite quarterbacks, but he's beaten whoever's been in front of him. So that's all you can really say. Chua, you got a Brock Purdy jersey. That's awesome. That's awesome. Y'all ready for this, Joey? Oh, I'm ready. We got Huntley Evans in here. Eagles fan, it looks like. Go E. I'm, going to assume. But, look, may the best team win. And I think that the Eagles are a fantastic team. And honestly, I think Huntley, okay, go 49er. Okay, love it. There we go. Am I a San Francisco Giants fan? Yes, I am. Unfortunately, I think the Giants are going to be terrible this year. Yeah, it's not going to be a pretty year for the Giants. But, Giants just, I don't know. They just screwed it up. But he's played 8. Yeah, well, exactly, too. I think that he's beaten everyone in front of him. Has Brock Purdy, Brady, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith. Yeah, I guess he hasn't beaten anyone that good, has he? I read something, James says, I read something about one of the things that was wrong with Purdy was his short arms. I didn't notice anything about that, about his short arms, but I think with Purdy, he needs to, I think the Niners need to get him settled into the game. I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen with Purdy in recent weeks has been like in the beginning of the game, a little bit jumpy. So you do that with, hopefully you can run the ball effectively, and hopefully you can get some quick passes. And but I think it is the Philadelphia run defense, which is probably their weakness. But again, look, at the end of the day, when it comes to playing the Niners, the Eagles are going to dare the Niners to throw the football. So they are going to stack the box like crazy. I think when it comes down to just limiting the Philadelphia offense, Mooney Ward has to, I think, have his best game as a 49er today. I think he has to shut down. It's not always going to be A.J. Brown, but I think he has to shut down the guy he's up against. I think you probably give Lenore a little more help than Mooney Ward, just to be able to help in coverage. And then I think you have Hufanga play around or closer to the line of scrimmage, where he can maybe keep an eye on a guy like Jalen Hurts if he's going to run the football, or short passes, the run game, things like that. Dare them to throw the football. Look, I know they have two great receivers, but we have a decent pass rush. We have Nick Bosa, and we have best linebackers in the game. So let me see. This will be fireworks, 100%. This will be absolute fireworks. I agree with that. Let's see. Looks like our defensive coordinator is going to the Texans. Yeah, it sounds like DeMeco Ryans is going to be going to the Houston Texans. And I think, we all knew that he was going to get a position somewhere this offseason. And I'd like to think that Houston this time around will actually give their coach more than 1 year to show some success, considering that the talent on that roster is not good. Kyle has the best 15-play script in the NFL. Oh, I hope so, James. That would be awesome. I think D'Amico said no to the Texans. We'll see. That's all speculation, I think, kind of. D'Amico 1 more year would be a dream come true. Just kind of like what Dan Quinn did with the Cowboys. I'd love it. When we win the Super Bowl, D'Amico won't be going anywhere. That's too bad. Texans are awful. Texans are a bad organization. James, I hope you're right. Yeah, Jimmy Ward as well. That's another big one too. Jimmy Ward. I'm excited to see Jimmy Ward play today and how he does as well. He's someone who can also be an X factor. I thought he played really well against the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, he helped force the second interception. The other big thing here, when I look at it, to really sum this up, because in a couple of minutes I'm going to switch over to the other stream, but the other video. But basically, got to win time of possession. We have to be more efficient. That means converting in the red zone, 3rd and 4th downs. Also efficiency and just discipline is with regards to penalties and then turnovers. And hopefully we can get like a big special teams play from Ray. What I'm going to do now, guys, is we are going to switch it up. I'm going to go over to my other stream. I'm going to grab the link for that. And then we are going to get that rock and roll and get that up and going. And so bear with me while I get the link. I'm going to pop the link in the chat. I'm going to see you guys over there momentarily. Don't forget to drop a like on this one, but I will see you guys momentarily. Head on over to that link right there. I think that's the one. Should be the link. Let's see. Yep. Head on over to there, guys. I'll see you in a moment. I'm just going to take a quick 30-second break, and then we'll be right back. We'll be rocking and rolling. And we're about 17 minutes away from kickoff. But head on over to the link that I just dropped in the chat. I'll be there momentarily, and we will be rocking and rolling, getting ready for the NFC Championship game. Let's go. Let's get it. See you guys in about 1